Welcome to my Crested Gecko's 2-week update. Now, one thing that has cropped up throughout this whole 2 weeks is the name of the gecko. There have been people asking me if I've got a name yet and people suggested names, and that's totally fine to ask me. However, no, the answer is still no, I do not have a name. I haven't really thought about it too much because when I was trying to figure out Isla's name, it went on for like 3 or 6 months. It was ridiculous, and I was looking at names all the time and I still couldn't choose one. So I've sort of been avoiding names and just avoiding the whole thing and kind of waiting for a name to come naturally, but I am terrible with naming things unless they're like ants or shrimp. Yeah, so when it comes to my geckos, I think it's because they live so long. It's like quite a big decision what you want to call them for like 20 or even nearly 30 years. So yeah, I just really need to think about that, but nope, I still haven't got a name. Point number 2, if you remember when I first got her, she was just over a year old and she was 17 grams. And that was obviously underweight and she did not look too healthy. So obviously I've been feeding her, she's been eating well over these 2 weeks. And I went to weigh her on Friday, which was exactly 2 weeks after I got her. And she's actually gone down a gram, which, you know, I'm not going to totally see this as a massive negative point because whenever I've got animals to gain some weight, I find that it goes back before it goes up. Like a slingshot, if you get what I mean. And she did shed her skin and everything, so I thought, oh, maybe she's put on a bit of weight. And I swear, and I know this is really random, but I swear her feet have got bigger. Like, because they were tiny. I know it's a random thing to think about, but I swear they have. But yeah, I'm still positive about her weight. She has a very big appetite, so that's always an awesome sign. Talking of her appetite, so she was on Repashy, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know she really likes Repashy and she was full on eating it. But I don't have a food canopy for her. She's actually been having food on her Easter Island statue. The food dish sort of sits on top of there. And she was licking the Repashy, but where I saw that her weight had gone down, I kind of thought, okay, she needs to be eating more fruit-based stuff because I don't want to keep giving her like live food. She's been eating live food, but it's better for Crested Geckos to have a more fruit-based diet. So I had some Pangea around because I did buy it for Isla and Isla was not interested. And I thought, oh, I'll just make this up, see how she goes. So I just put it in her cage. And I found it knocked down into the eco-earth, and I think what had happened is she was eating up there and maybe she knocked it down. So it had a little bit of eco-earth in, but as you'll be able to see, she ate a lot of it. So whilst filming this footage, I made some fresh up and left it for her to eat, and as you can see, she's still definitely a fan of it. Prior to filming, I actually gave her some and she was like eating it, you know, when they actually like chomp into it. I was like, okay, she is happy with that. So I have got a food change for now. She's on Pangea. However, I think that she'll happily take Repashy again sometime and she'll happily have live food because unlike Isla, she's not too picky about what she eats. She'll just eat everything. So that's a good sign. One thing that people keep asking me about is taming. Obviously this is a massive question when it comes to owning any kind of pet, and all I can do is offer up my knowledge or my experience with taming, and unfortunately I've never really had too much of a challenge. I don't know what it is, but whenever I get a pet, they just tame so quickly, and I don't know if it's something I do or if it's just a pet I choose, but no matter what I do, no matter what kind of pet I get, or wherever I get it from, it tames really quickly. And I almost want like a challenge to be really tough and make me really have to work at it to tame the animal. But I just haven't found that yet. So as you can see, she is just so tame. She'll just voluntarily, is that the word, climb on me and just sit on me and jump and everything. So she's a really happy, tame gecko. And talking to jumping, that's one thing that people keep bringing up about Crested Geckos. And it'll be like if they've got a new Crested Gecko and they're worried because it's not tame because it's jumping. Now, I see them jumping as this awesome little feature they do. Oh my goodness, she made it to the tripod. That was like the best jump I've ever seen from a Crested Gecko. And it's almost like if you got a frog and you were disheartened because that jumps. Like, it's the same sort of thing. That's just what they do to travel around. Obviously, crested geckos also walk and run, but it's their awesome little jumping feature that you should just really embrace. So even if they are jumping, just enjoy it. Don't see it as a negative. Now, that was my update on my crested gecko, and I know I have quite a few updates to do with other animals I own. So I have queen ant to update on, my darkling beetle breeding colony I need to update on, and maybe my guinea pig. He has grown so much since the last update, so I may do an update on that. I know some people have been asking me to update on the roaches. I've actually just very recently sold my colony because only 2 out of 6 of my geckos would eat any of the nymphs, and to be honest, out of all feed insects you can get, dubia roaches do require a lot more room and requirements than any other live feeder insect I've ever owned, and where only a third of the animals that are meant to eat them actually eat them, it's just a lot of effort for a very small reward, when those 2 animals that actually eat the food are happy with crickets and mealworms. So I've sold them, and I know some people may be annoyed about that, but honestly at the moment I'm very overwhelmed with a lot of responsibilities, and raising a dubia roach colony is just a whole nother situation, and every animal I own besides the rodents have to live in my room, and so having dubia roaches on top of everything else in my room, which is quite small, is very, very overwhelming. So I have sold them, but they've gone to a good home, so that's all good. Another thing I want to quickly touch upon is someone keeps commenting on my videos about doing a video on breeding crickets, and I swear I've replied to you, or for some reason I can't reply to your comment, I can't remember now. But basically I have never bred crickets, I don't intend to breed crickets, so I have no experience on that, so I can't really make a video on that, so probably not going to. But yeah, besides that, if there's anything else you want to update on, let me know in the comment section below. But I hope you've enjoyed this update, and thank you very much for watching.